Hey, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. And it's time for another edition of our weekly track roundup, where I go over what I felt were the best and the worst tracks of the week. And you know what it is by now. I want to give a shout out to the good people over at The Ridge. They make these nifty metal-plated minimalist wallets with money clip in the back, straps to hold your cards in, better than a big, fat, bulky, disgusting leather wallet. As I've said before, and I'll say it again, you can hit up the link down there below to get 10% off your order if you want to pick one of these up yourself if you use promo code FANTANO. Also down there, of course, are our Turntable Lab and Amazon associate links. Hit them up, treat yourself. Especially that Turntable Lab link. Get yourself a colorful pressing of a record I have reviewed on the channel, or a turntable, or some audiophile stuff. We get kickback from it. Helps the channel, helps the segment. And I want to do a few shout outs first. One, Richard Swift, the late and great producer and songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, has a posthumous album coming out. There is a new song from it that you can check out below. Be on the lookout for that. Rest in peace, rest in power. Also, rest in power to Prince, who has a posthumous album out of solo, vocal, and piano pieces, which what I've heard from so far is pretty stunning, pretty gorgeous, and passionate. There's a song down there below in the description box that you can try out yourself. Also, James Ferraro has the next edition of his Four Pieces of Mirai saga coming out, which I reviewed the first piece of which on this channel. Do check out that review if you haven't. It is a thrilling and an adventurous and expansive piece of electronic music. So it's going to be pretty cool to hear him kind of embark on the next edition of this saga. You can hear a little bit of a preview, get more information via a link in the description box as well. And also want to shout out Florence and the Machine, who have a brand new cover out via Spotify that you can check out as well. Okay, so give those your time, give those your attention, because there's some sweet little tidbits in there. And by the way, it's a Tori Amos cover that you can scope out in there. All right, and our boy Dean Blunt has a new collection of tracks out, all kind of lumped together into this 15-minute span of music and new tidbits. ASAP Rocky is actually featured on one of the passages of this long, multi-tracked mega song. And from what I understand, and you guys might remember, I loved his last album, Black Metal. Great record, fantastic record, experimental, passionate little album full of ballads and strange musical pieces. Apparently the sequel to that album is on the way very soon, so I'm pretty excited about that. Black Metal 2. I've been in the need for more Dean Blunt in my life. All right, let's get into the tracks that I thought were the worst tracks this week. Let's kick it off with this new song from the West Coast hip-hop outfit SOBRBE. They have a new song out that is kind of a little slow jam titled Made It. It's falling seriously short of achieving that slow jam status because the outfit approaches the song with pretty much the same flows and vocal deliveries that they do nearly every song, making them sound more one-dimensional than ever. Sort of wondering if this is how every single one of their tracks is going to come off from now until the end of time. Not really digging on the new Norah Jones and Jeff Tweedy track, A Song With No Name, and believe me when I say that a name is not the only thing that this song is missing. A coherent structure, quality production, and a memorable tune is also what this very drab acoustic number is missing. This new quote-unquote collaborative track from Lil Peep and XXXTentacion is sort of a padded out non-song with a hook and not much else. It just sort of feels like the label threw this together just to get the names of two very popular artists having a new posthumous song out so they could kind of bank on that, which is unfortunate. And new song from Joyce Manor, which is in some respects, a sweet little indie rock ballad, but the vocals and tune are way too drab to maintain interest for any more than a few moments. Let's move into the tracks that I thought were kind of meh. Not terrible, but not amazing either, but certainly worth your time, certainly worth pointing at. You guys might dig them more than me. Weezer has a brand new song out, which is set to be on the new soundtrack for the film Spell. And this song over here goes into more of a... oh, bless me. Goes into a kind of a bright pop synthetic electronic direction, which a lot of songs on the band's last LP did, but I feel like the way all of those influences are employed on this new cut over here, it's actually not obnoxious. It's actually not terrible. It's actually not unlikable. And I hope that if Weezer embarks on these sounds more in the near future, that the results come out more like this, because I actually didn't mind this tune all that much. Shout out to Rivers. Moving on from there, Peter, Bjorn, and John, the indie outfit that helped bring the genre to prominence with That Whistle song everybody knows, have a new album on the way, 3 tracks out from it. The first of which, One for the Team, is my favorite. The last of which, Gut Feeling, sounds just like a Beach Fossils ripoff, which I didn't care for all that much. But still, if you like kind of twangy, poppy, indie rock type stuff, you may, in fact, be into these songs and want to be looking out for that new Peter, Bjorn, and John PB&J. Moving on from there, A Melon on Fire. This new single titled Body, Mind, or rather Mind, Body, Soul music from NVDES is pretty intriguing. This is an artist who is combining influences coming from electronic dance music, soul, gospel, and blues. It's kind of like a clashing of new and old. I do feel like some of the vocals and loops did get incessant by the end of the song, but it is rare that you hear dance music this passionate, vocally driven, and grimy, you know, so do give this a shot. Even though this song did underwhelm me in some respects, I am looking forward to seeing what this music project delivers into the future. And the new Lil Uzi Vert song, New Patek, which I like the aesthetic of it. I thought some of his flow was pretty cool, but in my opinion, the length of the song and the fact that it didn't switch up all that much really worked against him. With the song being like 5 minutes and change, way too long for an Uzi Vert song, in my opinion. Without another feature or without some kind of switch or something or a strong hook, but I don't know. That's me. And 151 Rum, a track from J.I.D. I'm assuming this is going to be on his forthcoming record. At least that's how I've seen it build. Kind of a scant track, a big lengthy verse, and some mini verses kind of surrounding it. I liked some of the flows. The internal rhymes were great. Some of the lyricism was pretty cool too, but I feel like it could have used a bit more structure. It just kind of feels like a motif that he just kind of threw out there to get the fans' mouths watering. And this Beijing folk duo by the name of Gong 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 have a new single out via Bandcamp, which you could check out. I do like the elements of experimental and roots music that come together on this track quite a bit. Looking forward to seeing if this duo does anything interesting in the near future. Also, want to give a shout out to the new Gallant track, Too Good to Be True, featuring Sufjan Stevens and Rebecca Sugar. Not that strong of a tune on this track, in my opinion, but the very dreary vocal contributions do make it pretty interesting and sad. It feels kind of like a mood piece. Feels like a cool mood piece, and I will leave it at that. Moving on from there, digging on this new Cloud Nothings song, Leave Him Now. It is a pretty peppy piece of power pop with sharp guitars and a pretty nice hook. Not all that memorable stylistically, but still, I thought the song had a lot of good things going for it. And want to give a shout out to Charles, the bedroom and lo-fi pop artist who has a new endearing music video outshot on iPhone where she's kind of dancing and moving along, going down the street. It's like she's living in a musical. And the song itself I thought was pretty sweet. Though, didn't really blow me away, but, you could tell there's a some influence coming from Ariel Pink on the production a little bit, and it's a pretty sweet little number. Pretty sweet little number. Looking to see where she grows from here. And wanted to talk about the new Lana Del Rey track, Venice Bitch, which is a very, very monstrous 9-minute piece from Lana and Jack Antonoff of Fun fame, who is now doing production for her new full-length album. While I did like the acoustic intro and I guess the core tune of the track quite a bit, didn't mind the lyrics either. The very lengthy instrumental passages that this track launches into for the majority of its runtime, I think, take away more than they add to the song, at least at the length that they are employed at, because some of the what sounds like synth and guitar harmonies, just very heavy, dense musical passages, they do fall a little flaccid and they do feel just a little overdone. Lana's voice does come back and regain presence toward the end of the track and ties it all up. I mean, I feel like the track had its heart in the right place. I admire the ambition that Lana and Jack obviously had to come into this track with, but I feel like the execution could have been cleaner, tighter, a bit punchier to make the track itself more engaging. Moving on from there, Wanderer is the name of the forthcoming Cat Power album, and she has seen fit to release another song from it. It is a cover. It's a Rihanna cover of the song Stay, and essentially a piano and vocal track. It's not bad. I think Cat Power's interpretation of the song maybe came off a bit too simplistic, like maybe she could have taken some more, I guess, liberties with it, but still, it's pretty interesting for her to embark on this kind of cover and reinterpretation. All right, let's get into the tracks I thought were the best this week. The songs that really blew me away. Want to talk about the new Petite Noir track, a South African artist who I have shouted out in the weekly track Roundup series before, and some of you guys might remember Petite Noir from his appearance on Danny Brown's last full-length album, Atrocity Exhibition. This new song of his actually features Danny Brown and also Nukubi, and it's a pretty odd piece of art pop rap with unsettling and very surreal production and haunting vocals too. Danny Brown's verse on here is actually pretty motivational and inspirational as well, digging what's going on here, digging the direction. And looking forward to the new album, too. Open Mike Eagle, who is going to be coming out with an independently released record very soon, so support him in that venture, has a new song out titled Relatable, Peak O-M-E, and I think it's one of his smartest and funniest songs in a while, where he sort of throws out all of this very revealing information, sort of puts himself in a vulnerable spot, and I don't know, it just through this avenue of self-effacement, I guess, in a way, he makes himself more relatable, more human, and I really kind of enjoy that element of the song quite a bit. His flow and delivery are over the top. The beat hits pretty hard, although it doesn't really change up all that much. I feel like the song could have used a bit more structure, but still, I thought it was really enjoyable, and really looking forward to this new Open Mike Eagle release. Moving on from there, I want to give a shout out to Kero Bonito. They came out with a song super late last week, around the time that I came out with my last weekly track roundup, so I ended up missing it in that video, but the title of this song is Make Believe. Now, if you guys remember, I was a little underwhelmed by the Outfit's last EP because the sudden swap they did for their typically synthetic and poppy sound for just like a typical indie rock style was a little underwhelming, just kind of felt a little tiresome. However, I feel like they have brought that together with the electronics and the brighter pop elements once again in this new song, and I'm kind of liking the fact that they've been able to maintain all of these influences on one track, and it sort of works. Sure, it's not as bright and cartoony and silly and tongue-in-cheek as their last full-length LP, but still, I'm liking what they're doing here. It sounds a little bit more mature, but still very catchy and interesting. Cult Leader, metalcore band Cult Leader, new album on the way, And while this is a pretty meat and potato genre for a lot of artists out there, I feel like Cult Leader is sort of breaking away from that trend with some of the very off-kilter and strange riffs that they lace this new track with. I Am Healed is the name of the new song. Production is pretty loud. Vocals are pretty brutal, kind of standard for the genre, but it's really the weird, strong song structure and multiple switching guitar passages throughout the track that really kind of make it stand out, in my opinion. Moving on from there, Jover, the new Brockhampton song, single, loving it. It hits hard. It's badass. I'm not going to get too deep into it, though, as I'm going to talk about this song and the rest of the tracks from their new album, Iridescence, very soon. And Bill Wurtz, fellow YouTuber Bill Wurtz, Mount St. Helens is about to blow up is the title of his new very peppy, poppy, jazzy, and abstract and freaky and funny new song and single. Subscribe to Bill Wurtz, Jesus Christ, if you haven't already. Got a bit of an itchy eye over here and it's bugging me. And electronic artist Ash Koosha has a brand new song out titled Fukushima. And the densely layered droning electronics and vocals throughout this track, while it doesn't lead to a lot of exciting switch-ups or anything like that, it is pretty intoxicating. It is, I guess, moody and futuristic and beautiful and gorgeous and strange. And I'm just kind of liking the direction his sounds have been heading in recently. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been the weekly track roundup. Shout out once more to the good people over at The Ridge. You can hit up that link below again with the promo code Fantano, 10% off your order. And once more, you can hit up all the songs that I mentioned in this roundup down there too. All right, you the best, you the best, you the best. I will see you guys in the next video, weekly track roundup, forever.